Brendan, you had time to look back and reflect on Tuesday night and the lessons to be learned from that?
Yeah, listen, every game there's always that. I think what you always have to try and do, no matter what game you're playing, especially when you lose, is have that balance and common sense approach to it. I think that when I look back on the game, like I felt in the game, the players, they were applying maximum effort at the level. Were well in the game. Unfortunate to be behind at half time. And of course, when you get down to 9 men, it becomes really, really difficult in any game, but in particular at the highest level. But what I will say is the players, they kept going. They showed a great spirit right to the very end. And actually, the 2-0 scoreline might be invaluable for us later down the line, because we played Feyenoord in the last game, and if it comes down to goal difference, that could prove very, very important for us. So I thought the players, we didn't get the result, but like I said, you always have to logically look at it and be in balance when you do. And I think that, we sadly, when we went down to 9 men, that hurt us.
You seem like you're taking the positives out of the game, and that's what the players said when we spoke to them after the match. Is it positive in there? Everyone looking forward to this weekend, looking to try and get back to winning ways?
Yeah, I think, listen, that's the game at a huge club like Celtic. You can't dwell on a win or a loss. Whatever the result is, our focus is only directed in one way, and that's looking at playing and working with that intensity and an efficient manner in our game. And that was all our focus before the game, and it's our focus afterwards. So like I say, we have to reflect. Where can we be better? Where can we improve? But we play so many games in the season, you can't dwell. You got to move on to the next one, and that's our focus now.
I was speaking to Alistair Johnson after the match, and he said that obviously the team have been picking up points domestically, up top of the league, but still waiting for that performance where you click into gear, almost kick on, take all your chances, score 5 or 6. He said he feels like that is coming. Do you feel that performance is coming as well?
Yeah, it's time. It's a lot of young players coming into the squad, coming into the team. It's like I said before, it's a different team. From when I agreed to come in and looking at the players that have moved on and players that we've brought into the club. So that's just, it takes that little bit of time, and obviously when you're missing key players can influence the level at which you can play the game. But thankfully, like Rio Atati, he had another 55 to 60 minutes the other night, so that's really good for him, because he's in terms of match practice been not playing so much, so that's been good for him. And obviously, once he gets up to speed, he'll show that he's a fantastic player. So a few others coming back a little bit later, but I would anticipate us getting better as the season goes on.
Just finally for me, on those key players, are there any injury updates on the return of some of them? Nat Phillips, Cameron Carter-Vickers, how are those two getting on?
Well, I think if you look at your notes from last week, I will say that Cameron Carter-Vickers is back in 9th of October, or around about that time. It's still there, so you don't need to keep asking every week. And Nat Phillips, we will see. Nat is he had a heavy roll in his ankle last weekend. We'll give him another 24 hours. He's been out on the pitch today, so we'll just assess that from there.
And then you mentioned about the goal difference here. Do you think that the group might become that tight? It could come down to that?
Well, it could do. And it's something that, and that's why I was so pleased with the reaction of the players when they down to 9 men, because I've seen it before. I've seen it against 10 men, teams fold. But the one thing we never let go was our spirit in the game, and that conviction to get a result. Now, the result maybe wasn't the win that we wanted, but the 2-0 could actually prove very important later down the line. So it could be that tight, and that result with the circumstances that we were in could end up working out for us.
Depending on whether you've got that available this weekend, given that you're going to miss Gustav for the game against Lazio, you're going to have to think like getting someone else into the team to get them up to match speed in the event that they may need to be used for that game.
Well, we'll assess that, but we'll see. It's just having him fit and available and that, and then we'll assess it from there.
Does the pitch at Livingston make you think twice about selecting any players that are just coming back?
It always does. I think if you have players with knees or situations like that, then sometimes the surface doesn't help. But it's no excuse for us. We know that we have to play on artificial pitches at some time throughout the season. So we go there, anticipate a tough game, and we look to get the result.
The club this week came out and outlined their very strong financial results. I just wonder what that means for you going forward in terms of further investment in the team.
Well, hopefully, I think what it demonstrates is that how well the club is run behind the football side, and as I said, all the markers, all the numbers, everything is there to prove that. My job is obviously to look after the football side and make us the best that we possibly can.
And when you reflect back on the business that you've done in the window just gone, you're content with what you brought in?
No.
How content are
you? No. I think if you ask any manager, they'll always be wanting more, of course. But we work with the players that's here, and I'm not saying that in any disrespectful way. I think every manager will tell you they maybe wish they could have done one or two more signings, but the window closed. We had the players that we had in, and I'm a coach and manager, and we will work with the very, very best players at our disposal to make our performance level the best that we possibly can be. And now we're preparing already for the January window and the summer window.
Was that just on that? Was that a major disappointment for you?
No,
then? No, it wasn't. Right. Okay.
When you look at the signings you did make, there's quite a lot, like 9 players in total, and a lot of them, maybe you mentioned, inexperienced in a way. Is there an argument maybe in January or maybe in future windows to sign some possibly more experienced players and going in on them?
Listen, I think if you look, the strategy of the club is that it's signing the younger players to develop and improve. I think I've said it before here that to maximise that potential, of course, you need that balance in your squad. You need quality and you need experience, and that obviously will help and support potential that you have. So that's something that hopefully over the course of my time here that the squad can regenerate into that way.
Just looking ahead to the game, obviously Livingston have started pretty well this season. What have you made of them and facing a team, David Martindale's teams, those very well organised?
Yeah, no, I like David. I've come across him when I was up here the last time, and his teams are always competitive, make it very difficult for you. So you know that you have to earn the right to get the 3 points. So it'll be no different this weekend. We're anticipating a tough game. As I said, it's a surface that's always a challenge, but we have to cast that aside and look to get focused in on getting the quality of our game and get the points.
How different is the preparation for that? You're going from playing Feyenoord in the Champions League to a completely different scenario, artificial surface, a team that will...
It's very simple. It's the preparation's simple. We just stay focused on our job in hand and look to be as efficient as we possibly can be.
Anyone injured?
Hi Brendan, sorry. Mark Cooler from the Celtic Star.
Hi.
Despite the challenges this year, one of the huge pluses for me has been the emergence of Liam Scales. That was outstanding at Ibrox, and again, it was in the Netherlands in midweek. It's given absolutely everything, given that we're now moving into that period where 2 games a week, 2 vital home Champions League games coming up, and also the retention of a league title. Are there any other youngsters, I guess, knocking on that door to perhaps get a first team opportunity over the next 6-8 weeks?
Well, that's something that I look at. I think firstly on Liam, I think he's been excellent. I think now he feels really happy that he's created some sort of identity here. I think when he was in before and you're maybe a bit part player, and then he had his time out on loan, comes back in the summer and probably thinks his future's maybe away from here. But he trained really well over the course of pre-season, and it was really just about timing and taking his opportunity. And like you say, I think the Ibrox game was a massive game for him. it's the biggest challenge I still think for any Celtic player to go, and especially with no supporters in there. But he stood up strong to that, and it was excellent. And then away at Feyenoord the other night, as you say, I thought he was very, very good, very composed. And for someone who's not been near to that level, with the greatest respect, I thought he played with a real composure and was really, really competitive. So he just has to keep focused and stay calm and keep working hard and take those performances and make them as consistent as he can be.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Any other injuries, or are we fine from Tuesday?
Yeah, fine from Tuesday. Yeah.